Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon to our lecturer, Madam May Sapura, and to all of our classmates. Today we are going to present on the strategic input in the case study Volkswagen emission scandal.
Before we start our presentation, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Daniel bin Abdul Razak, Nur Shazwani binti Muhammad Rosli, Muhammad Aiman Irfan bin Nur Azli, Wani Zulaika binti Razali, Nur Shazwana binti Khairul Baki, and Nur Sahira Shazrin binti Ahmad Zaida. We will start our presentation with company background, case analysis purpose, general environment and industrial analysis, external factors evaluation matrix, internal factors evaluation matrix, competitor profile matrix, SWOT matrix, and then finally conclusion.
Volkswagen background. Volkswagen, or the people car, was being established by its first founder, Ferdinand Porsche. So their vision is to make this world a mobile, sustainable place with access to all the citizens. This organization vision is to introduce portable improvement over the globe through its product. The statement is accompanied by the portion on the global reach and a way to enhance versatility and maintenance. Volkswagen has proved through its attention it can communicate with people around the world. Next, their mission. Volkswagen does not have a formal mission statement, but their Go to Zero environmental mission statement can be understood as for all our product and mobility solution, we aspire to minimize environmental impact along the entire life cycle from raw material extraction until end of life in order to keep ecosystem intact and to create positive impact on society. Their action must first and foremost adhere to environmental law, regulation, and voluntary commitment. Thus, in their Go to Zero mission statement, focus on several types of field activity, which is the environmental, asset, and also the natural consistency. Meanwhile, for their nature of business, the Volkswagen Group is one of the top multinational organizations in the automotive market, which considered as one of the biggest manufacturing cars in the world. The company nature of business comprise the automotive and financial service division. Volkswagen history. It all started during 1900, where Ferdinand being acknowledged to have the knack for designing car as teenager, whereby he had designed the first front-wheel driven car. According to him, the inspiration in automotive industry was born through Henry Ford in the US, who introduced the Ford Model T. Since then, Ferdinand dreamed to do the same in the Europe, which have been working for years on idea of creating an affordable car that can hold a family and would drive like a real car and not a micro car. Unfortunately, Ferdinand failed to find anyone to fund out his car project. But one day, his friends started introducing him to the Adolf Hitler, which is the Chancellor of Germany at that time. Adolf Hitler proposed any race company that can build a race car for upcoming Grand Prix event would win a grand car cash prize. Therefore, in 1934, Ferdinand took up the challenge and his design completely dominated the race tournament, which gave him chance to create a 3 prototype car for the German government that led to the creation of Beetle car. In 28 May 1937, Volkswagen Ltd was formally established by the help of Adolf Hitler. The first name given to the car was ADM650, which stood for Kraft der Freude, which it means in English is strength to the joy. Hitler had funded almost 300,000 cars to get ready for the production. However, in 1939, due to the sudden outbreak World War II, most of this car was converted into the Jeep car for German military instead. Thus, the production factories was completely destroyed and only small part of it can function, which slowed down in the production. At that time, Volkswagen have to manage everything on their own, and Ferdinand's dream was becoming far from the reality. In 1948, Heinz Nordorf was being appointed as managing director of Volkswagen. Nordorf sensed that KDF was exactly what a defeated post-war Germany needed. Therefore, he rebuilt Volkswagen building in the city of Wolfsburg from the ground up. In 1950, with the steady production and export to the United States, the Beetle eventually became the best-selling car ever made and the first outsell Ford Model T. Just as suddenly Nordorf was gone, on April 12, 1968, after suffering through the lingering effect of heart attack, in 2003, the final year of the Beetle, the total number of Beetle have topped 21 million. Through the history, Volkswagen now has multiple subsidiary companies such as Skoda, Seat, Cupra, Audi, Lamborghini, Bentley, Porsche, and Ducati.
The general purpose of this case study is to examine and analyze how does the Volkswagen emission scandal affect the overall company performance and image, as well as to uncover the possible strategic solutions in mitigating the problem in order for the company to recover from the scandal. In September 2015, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency (EPA) found that in over 590,000 diesel motor vehicles, Volkswagen had violated the Clean Air Act as the vehicles were equipped with defeat devices in the form of computer software, which was designed to cheat on federal emission tests.
Next is the general environment and industry analysis. General environments are the factors which are beyond the control of an organization that can affect their operation and performance of that organization. To understand how the general environment forces can affect the industry, a PESTEL analysis tool is used. In the PESTEL analysis, it consists of 6 segments which are political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal. Basically, each of these segments will be examined carefully by the executive of a company to identify the major opportunities and threats, thus helping them to adjust the company's strategies accordingly. The next part is the External Factor Evaluation Matrix (EFE). Based on the table shown here, the first opportunity is demand for autonomous vehicles. It is the major opportunity since Volkswagen is intent to introduce autonomous vehicle by 2025 to regain back the public trust after the emission scandals that have happened. They also would like to amend their mistakes regarding the scandal to the public by launching autonomous car with affordable price since the demand seems high in this industry. The second opportunity is upgrade skills and competency. It is also the major opportunity since in order to fulfill the goals in the strategic plan, Volkswagen have to develop new competence in battery technology, digitalization and autonomous driving, so this situation has enhanced and upgraded the skills of their workforce. Thirdly, the other opportunity is improving sustainability policies. It is also the major opportunity since in order to improve the damaged brand reputation, Volkswagen need to focus on the significantly improving sustainability policies. This is because they want to regain back their company's environmentally friendly reputation since their company has been severely damaged by the emission scandal. So they would like to increase their efforts in sustainability significantly. Next, the fourth opportunity is increase in the fuel price. It is the minor opportunity since it does not give major impact to Volkswagen. Although there is a rise in the fuel price due to the changes in supply and increase in demand for large vehicles, but Volkswagen did not invest much into this line of lights. Instead, they adopted to compete in smaller vehicle range. So they take this opportunity to introduce the first competitive electric vehicle in the early 2020 and get benefit for the growing demand. Last but not least, the fifth opportunity is lower euro exchange rate. It is also the minor opportunity since lower euro exchange rate against US dollar makes the Volkswagen's vehicles cheaper for the US citizens. However, not all countries have low euro exchange rate, so Volkswagen can push harder its export as long as the euro exchange rate is low against other currency. So as for the threats, the first threat is intense competition. It is the major threat since Volkswagen has faced an ever-increased competition from the traditional automotive companies New players such as Tesla in electric cars and Google in its self-driving cars, and also saturation of its main market. The competition is fueled by the fact that the global automotive production capacity has exceeds the demand. Secondly, the other threat is fine and damage. It is also the major threat since the involvement of Volkswagen in the emission scandal has resulted in damaged brand reputation, lost consumer confidence, and almost 16.2 billion in damage and fines. Volkswagen also has involved in many lawsuits all over the world which seek to convict them for cheating on their emission data. The third threat is increasing government regulations. It is also the major threat since in order to reduce the greenhouse gas emission and encourage fuel efficiency initiative, the government is strict with the laws and regulation as well as the tax imposed to the companies. Next, the fourth threat is increasing costs in developed market due to the environmental regulations. It is also the major threat since Volkswagen has to deal with the cost component for working in developed markets since the government are trying to levy higher environmental taxes to promote cleaner options. Last but not least, the fifth threat is the threats of new entrants. It is the minor threat since it does not give too much impact to Volkswagen. This is due to the reduction of costs and increase of efficiencies. So, through the emission scandal, it has reduced the cost of reaching customers using social media and e-commerce to both local and international competitors. So, to sum up, the total weighted score for the external factor evaluation matrix is 2.61, which is more than the average total weight score. It means that the Volkswagen is doing pretty well by taking advantage of the external opportunities.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad AM2256C and I will explain regarding internal analysis. So, what is internal factor evaluation matrix? Internal factor evaluation matrix, or known as IFE, is function to summarize and evaluate Volkswagen major strengths and weaknesses in their functional area. As referred to above table, the response rating were divided into 4 ranges. 1. Refer to major weakness, 2. Refer to minor weakness, 3. Refer to minor strength, and lastly 4. Refer to major strength. So, we measure weight based on the sequence and level of importance of particular element in Volkswagen's strength and weaknesses. Means that the strength and weakness that very important will be stated in the top of table followed by others. To calculate weighted score, we need to time the weight with response rating in order to get the weighted score. So, as referred to the table, the highest weighted score for strength is excellent brand recognition with 0.52 weighted score, and the lowest weighted score for strength is joint ventures with local Chinese automakers with 0.27 weighted score. As referred to the case study, Volkswagen is highly recognized globally since this company is one of the oldest automakers. As for the weaknesses, the same method applied in calculated the weighted score. The highest weighted score for weakness fall under highest recall rate, which is 0.11, and the lowest weighted score for weaknesses fall under lack of workforce diversity, which is 0.12. As referred to the case study, the emission scandal gives big impacts toward Volkswagen since the company need to call back the costs that involved with the scandal and also need to pay over 30 billion fines. This gives impact toward Volkswagen to regain the trust from the customer after this scandal occurred. As a result, the total weighted score for Volkswagen is 2.64. This shows that it's significantly strong as the total score is above the average score, which is 2.5.
A competitive profile matrix is an analytical tool that provides necessary information on competitive advantage based on critical success factors and serve as the basis for an organization's strategy. Based on the CPM table, we can conclude that Volkswagen is strong in global expansion, management, trained employees, and production capacity. However, their environment friendly is poor as the emission scandal was exposed. Toyota, on the other hand, is more environmental friendly with their Toyota Prius, which use hybrid technology. After the emission scandal was exposed, Volkswagen lost its title of the biggest automotive industry to Toyota. As we can see from the CPM table, Toyota has the highest score of 3.83, followed by General Motors at 3.45 and Volkswagen at 3.2. Volkswagen had admitted their fault and had to pay billion-dollar figures to settle the scandal. They had to recall their vehicle, pay fine, and also had to pay some amount of money to promote the green campaign. However, this is not the end for Volkswagen. Volkswagen advantage goes back to the decision made in 2015 after the emission scandal became public. Volkswagen decided to develop a collection of mix and match components that would serve as the basis for a range of electric models.
Next, for the SWOT metric, firstly, for the strength, Volkswagen is the excellent brand recognition. It's known as one of the oldest automakers, were highly recognized globally. Next is strong domestic market. Volkswagen vehicles are well assembled, safe and have good performance level. Moreover, the other strength is innovation in design and engineering, where they deploy intelligent innovation and technology to become a world leader in customer satisfaction and quality. Therefore, joint venture with local Chinese automakers. This is because China is the world's largest automotive market share and the largest Volkswagen market share and the largest Volkswagen market in terms of the number of vehicles sold. So Volkswagen is also the widest brand portfolio, where Volkswagen revenue is much more spread across different brand and type of product. Besides, for the weakness, Volkswagen is the highest recall rate in the US market among all the automakers. The other weakness is the low market shares in the US automotive market. So as the movement Volkswagen share in the US automotive market is at the best week, the company sold less than 850,000 vehicles in US. And therefore, Volkswagen received a lot of criticism and negative publicity for the Dieselgate scandal. So it will be weakening the whole Volkswagen brand. Therefore, business model can be easily replicated and lack of workforce diversity, where Volkswagen is not diverse enough given that most of its growth in its domestic market. Furthermore, for the opportunity, Volkswagen demand for autonomous vehicle. It can help reduce the number of crashes on the road. Other than that, upgrade skills and competencies. Volkswagen need to increase research and development to make their product suit the demands. However, the other opportunity is improving sustainability policies and remedy damage, brand reputation and retain former confidence the public one had in the Volkswagen brand. Therefore, the other opportunity is increase in fuel price that resulting in more demand and also creating a large market for hybrid and electric cars and low euro exchange rate. Finally, for the threat, intense competition. So, with the new companies such as Tesla, it will make it difficult for Volkswagen to compete in electrical car segment. Other than that, fines and damages. So, it will result in damage, brand reputation and lost consumer confidence. However, the other threat is increasing government regulation. So, the majority of government would much prefer to support the car manufacturers of their own country rather than foreign one. Furthermore, it will increasing cost in developed market, and the last threat is threats of new entrants, where the overall threat from the new brand to enter the market will low.
In conclusion, Volkswagen cheating in diesel emission tests was an unethical action resulting in series of disastrous consequences, and the proposal of green punishment is a suitable solution to finalize this case. However, it is evident that the root of this unethical scandal goes back to the business culture, structure, and strategy implementations of the company. This shows that the company must utilize a strategic plan of action as a refined approach in order to regain the consumer's trust in buying their brand, as well as to gain insights to come up with a successful and coherent viable positions.